Alright, listen. The thoughts and opinions expressed on the Stay Down LA podcast belong to me, K Stacks to P, and maybe whoever else got the nerve to pull up. This ain't for the overly sensitive, overly serious, or anybody looking to be offended on purpose. If you mad, you might want to log off now. For everybody else, welcome to the Stay Down LA podcast. Let's talk our shit. What up? It's your boy K Stacks to P, and welcome back to another podcast episode. As you guys can tell by my tone, I'm pretty fucking irritated right now. Why are you irritated, Caduce? Oh, I don't know. I just came today, super duper excited to record today's episode, and my fucking computer was giving me so much trouble. And it's so crazy, because even prior to this, I had to just calm down my fam, and it was just so just so coincidental, because it's like, bro, here you are getting mad at your computer, but you were just telling everybody else in the house not to get mad. And on top of me getting mad at my computer, LA has been so freaking hot. Even at nighttime. Like, it's to the point where I'm low-key sweating right now. Just from wearing clothes. I kind of low-key need a new fan. Because this fan, I think we're past this cooling stage. I don't think it gets cold anymore. I don't think it knows how to provide cold air. I think it's just here now at this point. Let me turn on the lights a little bit. But, other than that, I'm chilling for real. I'm literally chilling for real. I literally was super duper excited today. I had taken my time, got all the topics together, got all my recap done, and shit, I guess we're about to get it started. But you guys know how we do it, man. There's usually a structure to it, so we want to keep it very structured. Very structured. Everything I do, structure. Let me put on my glasses, because I'm finna be looking at this blue light. Hold on. Alright, got my glasses on. I'm on my nerd time, you feel me? I'm on my nerd and shit. You feel me? When I put my glasses on, it's because I'm trying to be a geek. Today Smell Good is actually, we have a new pack added to the fam. So technically speaking, I probably shouldn't use this one today, because if I'm going in order, the next one is Sex on the Beach. But just so you guys know where we're at with it, we got 2 more Bob Marleys. We got a whole pack of Sex on the Beach, and the newest one just added to the collection, Baby Powder. So the Smell Good, or the insert of today's episode, is going to be Sex on the Beach. But just so you guys know, next week, we will be using Baby Powder. So, what made me choose Baby Powder? Honestly, like, of the options they had, Baby Powder just seemed like the most reasonable thing to get. If you know anything about me, I love smell goods and I love, just nice fragrances. So Baby Powder just seemed like the most realistic one. I think the scariest part about it is, whatever smell they say it is, it literally smells like it. So when they say Baby Powder, it really smells like baby powder, and it's kind of scary. Cause I'm like, how could you get baby powder onto an instant? But while I spark up this Sex on the Beach, let's get started. Let's continue with the program, right? Am I right, guys? I know what you guys are here for. You guys are not here to see me bullshit. So we are currently on episode 55, if I'm not mistaken. I'm usually not mistaken when it comes to my podcast episodes, so I'm going to confidently say that we are on episode 55. Clap it up. That is a very big accomplishment. It's not a milestone, but still another proud accomplishment and achievement nonetheless, especially because, like I said, the glare is low-key too much, and I don't want you guys to be distracted by the glare. Rather, you guys be able to just enjoy the podcast episode. So, just gonna look at my beautiful eyes, no glasses and stuff. But yes, we're on episode 55, and the way that this podcast works, I drop an episode every Friday. So each episode represents a week. So that means we are 55 weeks into the podcast episode, to the podcast. And I had to clap because it's like, we just made a year and we ain't stopping. You know what I'm saying? The stop is nowhere near. All right. This is brought to you by Stay Down Network, Stay Down LA Network. That is a brand that I curated myself. If you want to just look up anything Stay Down LA, hashtag Stay Down LA, hashtag Dooley's World, that's going to be K-Stacks-P. And right under Stay Down LA Network is Stay Down LA, you know what I mean? And that's basically like it's basically just like the brand, I feel like the LLC is Stay Down LA Network, and then the brand is called Stay Down LA. So, you feel me? It's just a network of things that I feel like all are intertwined with what I'm interested in and what I want to hope to accomplish and to share with others. Like I said, it's sponsored by me basically. You know what I'm saying? I provide all of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? I provided the equipment, the recording space, etc., commentary, headphones, everything that's on this podcast is brought to you and sponsored by Kaylee P, aka STAYDOWNLA Network. And then, who is Kaylee P? You might ask. Well, he's just a normal guy, just your average dude, your average Joe that's not so average. You feel me? But I'm just like you, and you're just like me. We're literally all the same and all different in our own way. But with that being said, in particular, that shit smells so fire. In particular, I am a artist / musician / content creator / poet / writer / podcaster / runner / fitness guru / coach / the nigga that fucks your mama when your dad is not around. Alright, I'm just kidding. But pretty much I'm all of that and more. And as you continue to listen to this podcast, I hope you able to find more insight and learn a little bit about me. You know what I'm saying? And whatnot. You feel me? So of course, shout out to my listeners, shout out to my watchers, and basically shout out to anybody that is returning to the podcast. You're a real one. I fuck with you. I love you. And if this is your first time coming to the podcast, welcome. Get comfortable. Pull up a seat. Get you some snacks. You know what I'm saying? I got me some Five Guys today, so you know what I'm saying? Get you something nice to eat. You feel me? And just so you guys know, today is Friday, so you guys might hear some of the stuff I'm talking about today in next week's episode, FYI. If anything, I'll just start my next week's episode on Saturday. I'll do what I can. But you guys know, I'm not going to make any promises. Now that we got the introduction out the way, we're going to get into the prayer. The prayer is a very big part of the podcast, as I feel like it covers the podcast, covers the listener, covers the watcher, and covers me. And then overall just, reiterates to Allah that I'm very grateful, and basically just puts more prayers in the air. You feel me? Because you can never have too much prayer. You can never be too prayed up. So, I wish you blessings on the dream. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Al-Munarrahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina al-mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghayril maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. Allah, I ask that you please continue to guide me, continue to protect me, continue to make me the head and not the tail, continue to allow me to be able to figure out how things are done, continue to allow me to have the knowledge to be able to work through problems, continue to have me give me the ability to be able to learn new knowledge, learn new material, be able to receive new material, receive new information, allow me to be able to retain the new information, retain the new skills, whatever it is that is new, allow me to be able to retain it, whatever it is that is old, allow me to be able to retain it, and whatever it is that I need / want, allow me to also be able to retain all the necessary components of my brain. I just ask and I just want to say thank you so much for allowing me to be able to have a good sense of mind, be able to have a good sense and a good grip on reality. I don't take that for granted, as I know that there's people in this world that may not have the best mindset, that mental health is really real. Mental health is really real, and I just ask that you continue to protect my brain, continue to protect me, and continue to protect the viewer and the watcher and the listener, and anybody that just comes across this podcast, doesn't come across this podcast, but just hears about it. Anyone that is in any way, shape, form, touched, or affected by this podcast, I just ask that they be covered, protected, and overall protect their mental health, and then whatever it is that they are praying for, be it positive, worthwhile. I know that is subjective, respectfully, but as long as it's within those regards, I pray that their prayer is able to come through and is able to come to fruition. And I ask that you, Allah, please continue to allow me to be able to manifest the results and outcomes that I want, and overall continue to allow me to be able to have the emotional intelligence to not necessarily not go through anything, but be able to have the emotional intelligence and the capacity to be able to handle and manage whatever it is that I may go through or might arise in my life. Inshallah, mashallah. Allah, I ask that you also continue to watch over my deceased relatives, family, brother, and sister. I ask that you continue to allow them to watch over me, guide me, and protect me, and overall just do whatever it is that they are allowed to beyond that would of course not affect current. Allow them to continue to be able to do so. I ask that you please allow them to be able to maybe not necessarily speak to me, because I know that's probably a little bit much, but overall just be able to just show their presence within my life, and overall be able to be aware and there. Inshallah, mashallah, I said you please protect Latif, Kalila, Elliot, Latif's mom, Auntie Bussett, and both of my grandparents, my grandmas that passed away. May they all rest in perfect peace, and may they all know that it's not a day that goes by where I'm not thinking about them, I'm not appreciating them, and that I don't miss them. I love you guys. Allah, Ameen, Inshallah, mashallah. Let's get it. So now that we got the important stuff out the way, we can get to a little bit of the BS. I just love saying that because I just feel like, God made me who He made me to be, and I'm just so appreciative of it. So, without further ado, for the first time listeners, first time viewers, the way that this podcast is structured, I generally just go through a weekly recap. What is a weekly recap? Basically, from last week's podcast up until now, I just basically go through each day, basically give you guys a rundown of what I did that day. If anything interesting happens, I'll go into some further detail, but basically just a summary of what I did throughout the week. After that, I usually go into what I like to call the media portion, which is basically whatever movies or TV shows or anything that I'm like basically engaging in. Basically talk about it, spoiler included, not spoiler free. So I'm giving the spoiler alert now ahead of time. And the movie that we'll be talking about today is the Odyssey, directed by Christopher Nolan and being released by Universal. So we're gonna be talking about that. And I got a good list of some Instagram topics and some Twitter topics that we might get to. You guys already know. Sometimes by the time I get there, I don't know. Sometimes if it gets too messy, I'll leave it. But if it's something just general about just, things that I feel like people should know, we're going to get to it. But generally speaking, that's how this podcast runs. So if there's any specific part or portion that you would like to hear, for example, if you want to hear the weekly recap, skip ahead, do what you got to do. But if you want to just, like whatever basically you're here for, that's how it's going to be. So part 1 of the podcast, the weekly recap. Let's get it started. So on Friday, and as you guys might tell by the title, what should have been a lituation weekend happened to be a eye-opening experience for your boy, because it was just a culmination of bad decisions that I feel like I've recently was kind of getting the inside of, just like either slow down or get your shit together, that I kind of was ignoring because I just thought I knew it all. And this situation, I feel like kind of just brought it all to a head of just like, it's clear that you need to be more in control than you're letting off, or you need to stop being as comfortable as you've been doing recently. Because pretty much on Friday, nothing really crazy, but it was supposed to be a bike day. And 2 weeks, I haven't freaking rode my bike in I don't know how long. It just be so hard sometimes, to just make the time. You feel me? Because I'm very particular with my bike rides, but that's neither here or there. But pretty much, I went to the gym the night before, and then literally what I'm going to do tonight, I recorded the podcast, then I went to the gym. So when I came home, I had to move like 3 cars, like I was back at Toyota. So after that, I slept, and then I woke around 8 something in the morning to finish editing my podcast, and I made sure it was uploading. Then I was going to go ride my bike, but I was too tired, so I just chilled out to my hair appointment. My hair appointment was at 10 a.m., so I didn't even do my journal. That's how much I was just relaxed. So pretty much I just made a TikTok, you know what I'm saying? If you guys know what TikTok is, go follow your boy on TikTok, you feel me? K-Stacks-the-P. Just basically just doing that. Then I actually went to go get my haircuts around 9 something, headed out to go get my haircut. Shout out to my boy Trey. As soon as my haircut was done, I went to the Taj Mahal, and that's when I purchased the new incense of baby powder and some more of that imagination roll-on. You feel me? Big shout out to Bestie. And then pretty much after I did that, I went to Target to get some spray for the house, and then I went home. I was landscaping on the way to Target and on the way home. So once I made it home, I had received a letter. So to give some background on this letter, recently, your boy got into it with the Johnnies, and let's just say a couple letters was possibly trying to be thrown on my record. So due to that, and that whole process or procedure, they had taken my firearm. And if you guys don't know, I don't think I could show it on camera. I don't really want to risk it, but I think I could show the case. Glock 17, 9mm. You feel me? Got it from Austria. Like I said, I'm not gonna show it on camera, but I will describe it. You feel me? Yeah. I mean, there's not really much to describe. If you look up what a Glock 17 is, you should be able to see. And then just so you guys know, I'm not capping. Of course, gotta. You feel me? Y'all heard that. You feel me? And of course, safety first. Always make sure to point the bullet or the gun towards something that you are okay with destroying, because at the end of the day, gun safety, gun safety, gun safety. So pretty much during my situation, them niggas took my firearm. And in them taking my firearm, me knowing that my shit is legal, my shit is in my name, I never was really worried. It was just more so like, okay, well, what do I do to get my shit back? Type shit. Like, I could get my shit back, right? Type. Man, I'm so freaking hurt. My sights on my gun are freaking off point because I don't know what happened, but your boy pretty much got that shit to the point where it's low key not where it's supposed to be. But yeah, so due to that, the process or the procedure to get my stuff back was to basically reach out to the Department of Justice, DOJ. I was supposed to make an account. Once I made an account, I pretty much just, I don't think I had to, it wasn't no letter or nothing, but I pretty much just made an account. Once I made the account, I just had to wait for them to get back to me. The caveat of this situation was, though, they had let me know already from the jump I wasn't going to get anything back. Like, the only communication that I was going to get was going to be a letter. So I pretty much was just waiting for this letter to arrive and stuff like that. And this Friday is when their letter decided to arrive. So once I got back from my haircut appointment, got back from the Taj Mahal, got back from Target, I'm like, in reality, I really want to just come home and chill and just, not really do much. Because I was off that Friday. Because I'm like, why am I even this free? But I was off on that Friday. Because, normally I would be saying I'm got to get ready for work. But pretty much I just came back home. I seen the letter. And I'm like, I was just so excited to just get the letter. And basically, like, the contents of the letter basically said, to basically get your firearm back, you must fulfill 3 requirements. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Honestly speaking, I'm probably not gonna cut this part out. It was just a phone call from my homie real quick, so I apologize for that, guys. But for the audio listeners, you guys won't notice it. So, if anything, just have the podcast and the video side by side so you can see what part to skip it to. I apologize. It was just it's kind of similar. It's kind of about what we're about to get into anyway. So it kind of is related. So I don't want you guys thinking, oh, this nigga just had a random ass phone call. Like, no, it's kind of related, but it's just one of those things where it's like I said, it's my fault. What? That's so crazy. But nah, so pretty much after your boy had came home, I basically seen a letter, and the letter said that you have to fulfill like 3 requirements: be of legal age, be legally able to own a firearm, and for it to not be stolen or something like that. And then they said, okay, Caduce, you are eligible. So as soon as I said I was eligible, I was just so excited. I was just so happy. I would just basically just got in my car, drove all the way to Gardena PD, and I just went to go pick up my gun, or so I thought. When I got there, the following happened. The following followed. That's a fucking weird ass phrase. The following happened. Pretty much, I walk in there, and I ain't gonna lie, I kind of walked in there with my dick swinging, because I was just like, like in my head, like I said, this whole situation, I've been feeling like these niggas been trying to hold me. I'm gonna just keep it a bean. I've been feeling like these niggas been trying to like just keep my shit hostage, and I'm like, maybe that's just a bit selfish of me to even be thinking like that, because I'm sure I'm not the only nigga whose situation was even like this, or I'm pretty sure I'm not the only nigga. I'm not gonna be the first nigga who gets his firearm confiscated by the police officer, and I'm probably not gonna be the last. But I'm feeling personal. I'm feeling slighted, and I'm feeling like these niggas is purposely like trying to make my life harder. I don't feel like I'm not gonna say they're trying to make my life a living hell. No, nobody could do that. But they're trying to make my life a little more difficult, and I ain't going for it. So essentially, guess what? I freaking just walk up to that motherfucker, and I kind of was like, hey, I got my letter. I want my gun back. And the lady was like, do you have an appointment? And that's when I should have knew. I'm probably not gonna be able to get my shit back today. But you know, like the DMV, nobody wants to take the time to really explain anything. They just want to tell you, do you have this? And if you don't have it, then it's just like, okay, well, whatever. Essentially, I pretty much did not have an appointment, but it wasn't by, on some shit like, I purposely went in there knowing that I needed an appointment and I didn't have an appointment. They never broke down the situation. When I called the place to even get it, only thing they told me was just basically just wait to get this response from the DOJ and then just pull up there. They never said, once you get the response from the Department of Justice, call the Gardena PD and then you send an appointment to get your firearm picked up. They never said that. Wasn't on no paperwork, and then nothing that. And it's even funnier because I mentioned that to them, and like the only thing she could tell me was basically like, oh yeah, they would, because they wouldn't know, like they wouldn't know to say that on the paper because they don't know how many people work here. And I was like, duh, like this is the Department of Justice. This is like a general conversation. It's not gonna be no. I already knew it was gonna be no specifics, so I wasn't expecting nothing specific. But pretty much, if you guys, like I said, because this is kind of like, it's not like I'm talking the same story, because like I said, I went through this literally last week with them, or the week of the situation with them. But pretty much, I called them, or I went up there and they said, oh hey, if you want to get your shit back, you gotta call the collections. And knowing what I know about the last time I've been up there, I kind of knew that the collections might give me a runaround, because like I said, like the DMV, if the collection's not there, you basically just gotta come back another day. But in my head, I'm like, I'm not trying to come back another day at that time. So I'm just like, no, let's get this done. So I sit there and I call the collections office literally like 20 times, and to the point where my frustration was starting to show, because I pretty much went up to the lady and I was like, hey, like, you told me to call the person that handles this shit, they're not answering, so what do I do? And she quite literally told me, well, you gotta just keep calling because she's the only one that can get it for you. And in my head, I was just so disappointed, because I said, how do you guys run like this? Like, who was the mastermind behind this system to where you only have one person that works in, and I keep saying collections, I feel like it's not called collections. It's like, whatever it's called, it's like, let's just call it collections, fuck it. But I'm like, how you guys only have one employee in collections that works in that department? Like, so you telling me if she's not here, nobody's going to be able to get anything done in that regard? That's pretty terrible. And that's pretty unreliable for a fucking police department, in my opinion, right? But I didn't really say all that. I kind of just walked off on some like bitch shit because I looked, like I said, I got so frustrated that I was like, you know, I literally like was like, hey man, like how was niggas supposed to fuck with the system? Like you guys tell niggas to do shit the right way, and then when we do shit the right way, we get run around. We get basically told that nah, you went the wrong way. The good news is you came a long way. The bad news is you went the wrong way. Like type shit. It's like, dang, a nigga be doing all this just to not even get any closer to my resolution. That shit, it just be frustrating for me. So being that I already don't want to be in the situation, I kind of walk out, kind of storm off on there on some like hot shit. I stormed out there on some hot shit, and I think because I did that, they had let the lady know that works in collections that, oh, like, just so you know, he had an attitude or whatever, because I promise you, the moment that I kept calling and whatever, and I was like trying to get an answer on the phone, at one point she does eventually answer the phone, but I think it was on accident because the whole time up prior to that, she kept like the phone kept going to voicemail, and it was so funny because the lady in there, she was like, oh, like maybe she went to the coroner's office and shit or whatever, and I'm on my head, I'm like, can't you just go back there and check and just see if she's there and like just let her know like, hey, somebody's out here that wants to like get something. But essentially, they don't do no same day notices for firearms or whatever. But the reason behind it wasn't a good one. She pretty much was like, I don't know what she said. She basically was like, oh, I might be doing something, so, you know, you gotta just set an appointment. And I'm like, that's it? Like, it's so I could get it today, you just choosing not to give it to me today, basically. And I was like, okay, whatever. You want to be like that? I don't care. So then she let me know that, hey, that the most recent appointment or the most nearest appointment I have is Monday at 10 a.m. You know what I said? I said, yeah, I could get my fucking come on Monday at 10 a.m. Because I'm here right now. I'm fucking around asleep in the parking lot, bro. So essentially, I should have won my first mind. I should have just, but I didn't know too. I didn't think to even like call these niggas and shit. But I should have won my first mind and stayed home because I didn't even want to go back out after I came home and did all that driving. But I was like, you know what? Let's go to this fucking GPD and try to get my shit back. But no, I wasn't successful getting it back. So basically, I just went back home. Actually, I stopped at Cane's because either way, I was trying to like celebrate because I was in my head, I was like on some happy shit. But I was going to celebrate with some Cane's, so I stopped at Cane's real quick. And my usual or my current meal that I get at Cane's is the chicken Sammy, the Sammy meal. I just been fucking with it recently. But apparently, due to the lettuce outbreak, this location decided to not serve lettuce. And in my head, I was like, damn, the chicken, the Cane's chicken sandwich with no lettuce just sounded kind of weak to me, so I wasn't even going to risk it. And I was like, nah, fuck that. I'm going to just get the box combo instead. And I got one extra toast and one extra sauce, but I fucked up because I'm supposed to get 2 extra toast and 2 extra sauce, but I wasn't thinking right because I was just so used to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I was just so used to getting the other meal that I just got the extras that I would get for that meal. But in reality, I was supposed to get 3 extra toasts because if it's 4 pieces of toast, if it's 4 pieces of tenders, you're gonna need 4 pieces of toast. A toast per tender, and then you can cut it open, put some French fries in that hole, then you put some hot sauce in that hole, and you put some ketchup, and you dip it in the cane sauce. That's a cane sandwich right there. So that's what I was gonna do, but I didn't have enough toast, so I had to just basically like make half of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I just basically made 2 of them, and I just ate the rest of the chicken like naturally. And then you know, it's just due to that outbreak. So after that, I was just on the phone with Bestie, aka Adria, and then I just came home and I was on the game. And this is kind of where when they say, sometimes you gotta stay home and play the fucking game. So I was gonna go out somewhere with someone, but we had decided to alter the plans because they were somewhere where they basically said that, oh, like, this might be just easier for us to do instead of like going out and spending money. Let's just come right here. So I pretty much pull up to the event. It's a, let's just say it's a kickback. I pull up to the kickback and, you know, I bring a bottle, you know, as a guest. You know, you can't just come in there not bearing gifts. So I brings the bottle, right? Come in there, brings. Right, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, trying to make me think I'm tripping. This shit got me thinking that I don't know how to load bullets in here. And I do. I gotta just load one more of that bullet loader. And that's what I'm saying. Could you imagine loading a 50-round clip with your hand, bro? Without like an assistant? Without nothing to help you? That shit would be crazy. I don't think it's illegal to show bullets on a stream, right? Because I'm not showing the gun. But yeah. Because now I'm locked and I'm loaded. Because at first I didn't have no bullets, but I'm gonna tell you guys why I didn't have no bullets. But no, essentially, I pull up to the event and I bring an Espelon bottle and it's a kickback, and pretty much I was supposed to be on guard of my own self because the week prior I had basically did some drunk shit. So my person was there and it basically was like watching over me, right? And I'm on my P's and Q's at first. I won't even sit here in front. I'm on my shit. The night progresses and pretty much I just get the okay that, okay, you're not gonna have to drive anymore. And to me, I think I just took that as like, oh, so I don't have to hold back no more. That was the worst thing I could have ever did. So essentially, the boy ended up getting too lit, and I just basically blacked out or whatever. And it was crazy because I had work the next day. So that's the end of Friday. So now Saturday morning, I get woken up and they're basically like, you know, like I said, my person's basically like, hey, like what you doing right here, bro? You gotta go. So she irritated with me because of how the night went out, but in my head I'm like, I know I do that. I know I couldn't have fucked up that much. Like I'm just like, I must have just, you know, just did some stupid shit type stuff. But on Saturday, I basically like just woke up at the B&B, you know what I'm saying? And I was just like so confused on like how I ended up where I ended up at, but I didn't have no time to like really like process it. So I just literally because I had to go open at work, so I just literally drove home. Didn't even change my top, my shoes or nothing. I just literally changed my pants to my work pants, and I drove to work. Somehow, some way, I managed through the shift. And I say somehow, some way because when I say that liquor was whooping my ass, bro, that shit was whooping my ass. So after I left left my job, or I'm at work, I'm trying to eat, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't really eat or whatever, but I had some pizza that I basically like bummed off of the B&B and shit. And then so basically after work I was gonna go see the Odyssey, but I started to feel better, so I was like, you know what, let's go on a run, because you know on Saturdays I usually go to my run club. So I get off at 6 and I'm like, I told a group chat with my homies at work, and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go on a run, y'all, not thinking anything of it, but the homie Honcho literally was like, I'll go with you too. So that shit, I ain't gonna lie, gave me that extra motivation. So basically I just came home, changed, and Honcho said he wanted to come, so I was like, okay, perfect. So I waited for him to get ready. So I took him to my Holders Fit Run Club area, and then we did 4 miles at the beach, 2 miles there, 2 miles back, and you know what I'm saying? And after which we basically went our own way, and I landscaped, and then I went home, but my stomach, bro, and that's how I was like, the liquor that I thought had subdued, or basically I started to feel better from, no, that shit still was like in my system. It was fucking me up. So I basically wasn't able to really feel good, and I basically just like I struggled to eat some food the rest of the night, but I basically ended my night with some jollof rice, some fried plantain, and some stew. So now on Sunday, I'm off today, so basically I was able to sleep in and everything like that. And it's it's Honcho's event, so it's Honcho and K5 event, but it's still Sunday, so you know I still have to do some responsibilities. So with that, I started my day off with my journal. I missed the last 2-day entries, so I basically did that. Then I made my TikTok for the day, and I also made 2 because I also missed the day before. And the only reason I feel like I've been okay with that is because, like I said, once Adrian hit back in my life, she knows how much I put myself through a day, And she pretty much was just in my ear, like, if you miss something, it's okay. Just pivot and come back the next day. Like, don't beat yourself up. But the one thing that I want to make a non-negotiable, at least, is just doing my journal. I want to make sure I do my journal every day, because if I can't make a promise of one thing to do each and every day, then I can't do anything. But pretty much, after that, I started, after I did my journal, made my TikTok, I basically started doing my laundry, dark colors first. Then I started uploading my Twitch videos to YouTube, and after all that was done, I felt like I could unwind, and basically got the party started a little early, which I shouldn't have, but, it is what it is. But after about, basically finishing with my room and all that stuff, it was time for me to clean my bathroom, because you guys know, every other week I clean my bathroom. So I cleaned it this week, I'm not cleaning it this week, and I'm going to clean it the week after. So it took me about 59 minutes, and that was with distractions. And I know because I timed it. And then I started eating something my mom made. But my mom had made some fish and stew. But pretty much because it was time for me to start heading out, I couldn't really eat it. And this was low-key like the start of like I said, just in general, just what I've been noticing. With my days when I drink, I see that it's days where I don't really eat nothing. So I know now I need to make sure I eat. I need to make sure I fucking eat. But pretty much, I was just like, you know what, I could just eat at K5 event because it was a barbecue. But the problem was, I was also going to take a chocolate gerb. And if you guys know anything about the chocolate gerb, when I take it, I can't really eat. So I was trying to like, in the middle of like, dang, I need to find a way to eat, but I want to take this gerb early enough to where I could be lit for the whole night. So basically, I pretty much left the house, went to go pick up a grabba, then I went to go get my nigga Devin, then we went into K5 thing. It was a Hawthorne, so it wasn't too far. We got there, we landscaped, and then I popped the gerb, and it went smooth. The onset of it was really nice. It didn't have me feeling too anxiety or too worried, so I wasn't tripping. It's just later on through the night, I was like, yeah, I'm low-key like acting a little stuck, so let me get back together. So pretty much, we stayed there and I got me some food. I got a plate of beans, mac and cheese, and some chicken, mac and cheese, and I also had one plate to go of the same thing. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm so sorry for yawning, bro. I'm so sorry. So around 5, 6 something, we all headed out to downtown LA for the actual plot. Paid for parking, but it was valet, so I didn't have no issue with it. Went in with Honcho, and it turned up all night. Then I seen my person there, you know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying, because we know what's going on, but we don't need everybody to know what's going on. We pretty much was just also like, you be with your friends, I'll be with my friends, and we could meet at the end. But in reality, boy, your boy was done for. I was so done after the plot. I just basically just said, hey, Devin, we're going to go to Fast Sal's, and we're going to go home. So we went to Fast Sal's, and we tried to go to the nearest location, but due to GPS being a GPS and being a freaking idiot sometimes, it basically took us to a ghost kitchen of Fast Sal's, and it ended up basically making us go to an even further location. So we went to the Glendale Fast Sal's that night. I just thought it was so funny because it's like, the one I normally go to is in Hollywood, and I'm like, I don't know how it just ended up where I ended up at. But, and it's funny because I feel like me and Devin did that shit before. Like, it's like deja vu with us going to that ghost kitchen and then going to the right Fast Sal's. But anywho, you guys know what I got. The pastrami western, tater tots, fat sauce, ranch, and whatever other sauce I think I got. I'm pretty sure it's just fat sauce and ranch. I think it's like a barbecue ranch. I could be wrong. But pretty much dropped my boy off. You know what I'm saying? And then, I ain't gonna lie, I was rushing to get my nigga home because I'm like, look, I ain't having a night like that night again. So I said, look, drop my nigga off, and then I went home. And then I cut myself off early for the night, and I made it home safely. Thank you, Allah. So at first, I was, tripping on early in the night, but then I realized what I said earlier, that, like, we gotta do our own thing. So I'm like, I basically, moved on and shit. So I just know the optics. I didn't want everybody in my business unless it's business. So for Monday, it's a new week, new dawn, new day. I was recovering from Sunday, so I definitely took my time to wake up. But there was one thing on my mind, my strap. So around 8 something, I woke up to move my car. Then around 9 something, I started to get ready for the GPD appointment. Being so excited, I didn't know if I should go early or closer to the time. But I ultimately decided to go closer to the time. So after that, I made it to GPD and I had to wait for the evidence or collections person to come to me.
she came and she was so nice. That's why it's so funny because every time I go to the GPD, I only been there like 3 times. Everybody be so mean, but the freaking collections lady, she's like the nicest sweetheart. You feel me? So pretty much, I get there and then she asked me for my ID, the letter, and it's actually so crazy because y'all know because of the situation, the policia, amigo, they got my driver's license, right? So with that, I never had an ID and my license at the same time, like of concurrent timing. So I just was like, oh, I could use my driver's license as my ID. So that's what I was doing. And my driver's license is my real ID, so it makes it even more step. You feel me? Sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. Pardon me for my yawning. I think I know what I need to do, and it is what it is. It's just a reflection of, like I said, I gotta just be better, and I will be better, guys. I apologize, but we're gonna. Y'all not gonna be able to tell, but we're gonna take a break right here. BRB. So, pretty much, after I had to, I'm gonna just start the whole Monday over because I know for some of y'all. Actually, wait, let's do this. So if I'm not mistaken, basically I was saying how I pretty much was there, and it was just so coincidental how like they took my license, and if I didn't have the wherewithal or the knowledge or the mindset to just be like, you know what, if I don't have my license, I need some type of identification, I probably would be super duper fucked over. But because I had the mindset and the thought, and then obviously, like I said, at that point I'm like, man, fuck these niggas. They're not finna stop me from like, you know, still getting lit, going out places, because a lot of places in LA you need an ID. It was to the point where I was using my old ID and my shit been expired. So it just sucked. It was a bad situation. So I pretty much had went to the DMV, got my ID sent out to me and everything, and you know, now I have an ID. So I just thought it was just so coincidental that like she asked me, am I tripping? This might just be. Because what? I don't know why I feel like my left shoulder is lower than my right one. Is it? No, I think that's just the way the camera is. Because when I stand right here, yeah, I look even. I look nice. You know, I'm gonna just stop looking at the camera because I'm gonna get in my head. Anyway, so yeah, so pretty much she was like, "Oh, I need the letter from the DOJ. Come on, like for real. Let's not do this today. I need the letter from DOJ. I need your ID." So I gave her all that, and then pretty much she basically was like, "Okay, cool." She went back there and she brought me back my gun. So after she brought me back my gun, she basically said that, oh, she can't give me the bullets the same day. The reasoning, I don't really know, but I'm just assuming that in case somebody was crazy or somebody was upset, they wouldn't want to just put them in the best position ever to be able to like shoot up the police station. That's the only thing that I could assume, because in my head I'm like, what's the point of keeping my bullets? And they said that like the lady was like, oh, you come back tomorrow and get it. But in my head, y'all already knowing that I went through this whole situation. I need to get my flask. So yeah. So in my head I'm like, bro, I already got this letter on Friday. I only had 30 days. I mean, that's not really a matter. But basically I'm just saying, going out my way to come back again tomorrow would be over whooping. Like, come on, just for some bullets for 20 rounds, I can keep that shit. So I told him, keep the bullets, and I just walked out of there, you know?
as I'm walking out of there, I made sure to put that shit in the trunk because I know that's what I'm saying in my head. I just feel like the police is like the DMV where they retaliate when they feel slighted or they feel petty. So in my head, I'm like, I get these niggas attitude the last time I was here. I just got my shit back. I don't want them to try to like catch me on anything. So I pretty much was like, nah, I'm gonna put my shit in the trunk. I'm gonna do everything super duper legal, like from this point on. So that's basically me getting my gun back. So, what you call it? So I basically went home to rest before work. So around 11, 12 something, I got up and actually started getting ready for work. Realized I had some time and I wanted to work out for the day. I decided to bring my workout clothes with me to work. I made it to work and I had an amazing closing shift, 1:30 to 10. Then around closing, I received a call, basically saying that the person that was talking to me, they don't want to talk to me anymore because of the situation. And it made sense because at that point, I honestly wasn't even going to falter because I felt like my behavior at that point was just really just immature and it was just unbecoming of me, unbecoming of the type of man that I want to be and the man that I want to represent myself to be. So her even making that decision, I feel like she made the right decision for herself. Oh, this shit got batteries too. Oh, I forgot how to use this. Yeah, I forgot to use my GoPro. I might use it tomorrow for my bike ride. But nah. So pretty much I was just like, hey, it is what it is. So I just had to accept it. So pretty much I went to the gym and I met up with my nigga Drew, J-Dog, and his nephew. And we had a green session. And then I landscaped before I headed home. And it's funny because literally as I finished, after I finished the workout, the person called me back and we had to talk about it. So now it's Tuesday. Happy blessed and carne asada Tuesday. I woke up semi-early but still tired from the workout in the morning, so I wasn't rushing to get out. But since I had already made my TikTok for the day, part of my day was already made easier. So I did my morning routine, folded my laundry, and then I headed out to the gym, made it and did leg day and core with my nigga Honcho, and then landscape. And man, that's what I'm saying. I know that whatever I had going on this weekend was really like needed to come out my system, pause, because as soon as I landscaped, I threw up, bro. Threw up in that parking lot. I felt so bad. I was so disappointed, but at the end of the day, I felt better after. So after that, I was done for, and I headed to Superior to buy some water. Man, now when I say, like, my stomach was, like, on 20, I was, I usually be like, my stomach was on 10, my shit was on 20. So I pretty much was like, okay, like, I still got to be productive. I still got to get through my day. So I went to Superior because we needed some water for the house. Went to Superior, and I picked up some waters. Then I came home, and I took a mini nap. Ate some rice and stew and some plantain. And I played some GTA with my nigga Honcho. Then I took a real nap. But it was so hot. LA's been so hot that I had to wake up. And then after the nap, I basically got ready to run. Head out to Culver City for the 6 Mile Tuesdays. But I ended up doing 7 miles instead. Thank you, Allah. Then I got some La Esquina carne asada fries and I headed home. And it's so dope because at this point, La Esquina knows me. I'm a regular now. I'm so proud to say that when I walk up there, let me not cap. When I call up there and I say, hey, can I get some carne asada fries? That'll be all. What's your name? DJ. As soon as I say DJ, she knows. And I'll be so happy. Yeah. Oh, okay. So, pretty much, I guess my dual output is on. I didn't mean for it to be on, but I'll fix it later. So, So, basically, when I got my carne asada fries, I headed home. And then, like I said, the person I'm talking to went to speak. So, I was like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? I pulled up on her. And the conversation was basically around the situation at hand and just like what's the best course of action and if I feel like I have to make any changes, with my current behavior. And at first I was being stubborn, I was being difficult because in my head I'm like, I can't control myself, but it's hard to say you can control yourself when you've been fucking up this consistently, this early, and whatever's going on. So out of just respect for her and like I said, respect for myself ultimately, because at the end of the day, if you're not gonna do it for yourself, you shouldn't do it for anybody. I decided like, nah, it's time for me to put the landscape down. It's time for me to put the liquor down. So for the next, we're going to start off with a week, but I want to just see how long I can go. Your boy is not going to be landscaping, not going to be, right. It's not going to be, I'm not going to be drinking and I'm not going to be landscaping for the next 2 weeks or for the next week, and then I'm going to see how I feel from there. Currently right now, it shouldn't be, but like I said, we're not going to speak on anything past that. I'm just going to speak on what's on the podcast list because it's just been some other shit going on that's been making me late in recording and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I'm still here. I'm still here for y'all. I'm still presenting. I'm still showing up. I'm still present. That's all that matters. no matter what anybody says, as long as you try, that's what fucking matters, bro. So pretty much, ended up, like I said, stopped the landscape, and then, you know, I just went home. So Wednesday, happy blessed and Odyssey Wednesday. I woke up around 8 and I had to go in at 9:30, so I started my day. Did my journal, affirmations, and I made a TikTok for the day. After that, I did my morning routine. I drove to work, but I made it late due to traffic. But I still made it to work, and we had a new hire. So now our team is full. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm not gonna tell you guys what I do or where I do it at, but just know we got a full team now, and I like the guy. He's pretty cool. So the shift was great. I clocked out and I go do an order pickup for Chick-fil-A. Then I go to Century City for my movie, because that's where I'm seeing it at. Made it to the movie, and 3 hours later, I left for the Odyssey. Then I headed home to get ready for bed. But you know what I'm saying? I said me and my person will be back cool. So she pretty much was like, you know, can I come and chill with you? So I just chilled with her for the rest of the night. So now on Thursday, happy blessed and run club Thursday. I woke up around 7:43 and knew what I had to be done. At this point, I'm in 1 day into my sober life and was definitely feeling it during my sleep, because when I say my sleep was just, my dreams were so freaking real, and like I just couldn't stay asleep for too long. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing I will say. The landscaping did help me. When I would be out, I'll be out cold. You feel me? So I'm like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I was feeling it, but I didn't really feel real different. So I was just like continue my morning routine. I got ready for work. After the routine was done, I made a movie review for the movie of the Odyssey, where I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. And let me tell you guys, people were not fucking with that rating. A lot of people that you know me, I do movie reviews. You guys know this, but a lot of people that, you know, basically focus on my movie reviews, they was kind of surprised. They was disappointed, I guess, because they thought, I guess, the movie was like a 4, high 4.5, and they were like, oh, you gave it a 3.5. I don't agree with that rating. 2 people told me they don't agree with that rating, and those people, I respect their opinion. You know what I'm saying, respectfully. And just overall, just like I said, I feel like there are people that watch a good amount of movies too. So I was like, dang, was I tripping? But overall, I don't think I was tripping, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I think they're more enamored by the cast, and I'm more critical of Christopher Nolan, because I feel like I expect a lot more from him. And like I said, I'm not going to be glazing niggas no more. Like, I'm not just going to be trying to give niggas good grades on their movies just because I fuck with the director. Like, if I wanted to just be on some just glazing, I would give that shit a 5 out of 5. Because quality-wise, it is a really stunningly looking movie. Like, it's on that Steven Spielberg level of production. You know what I'm saying? Like, when we get to it, I'm going to tell you guys. But in my head, I'm just like, I'm still like I said, if I'm giving it from a critic standpoint, that's a 3.5 out of 5. A cool 75%. They did good. You know what I'm saying? They could have got a B, but they got like a, you know what I'm saying? They got a high C. They got a C+. That's good enough. Shit. Especially because, like I said, I don't know nothing about the Odyssey. So I'm like, as a guy that's going into it, not knowing anything, and that basically was having to learn on the fly, I guess it did a good job at explaining it. And I guess I had a good enough opportunity to understand what was going on, but I still was a little confused. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't lost. You know what I mean? But yeah, people was like not really resonating with my review. So basically, after the review, I drafted it because I didn't have enough time to edit it at that moment. So basically, I just went to work. I did a 9:30 to 6:30, a 9:30 to 6 shift, and then some drama came up because, like I said, you know, as you guys can see by this episode, the secret word of today is going to be Netgear. So yeah, so pretty much Thursday is when the drama really started happening. But mind you, this shit has been since Friday. How is it now Thursday? It's just now getting to the boiling point. But I'm not gonna see it, like I said, because at the end of the day, I know niggas be listening. I know the feds watching. I ain't gonna say too much. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. But just know, Thursday is when that shit basically came to my plate, and I'm like, man, I'm not thinking of it that deep. But you know, Shawty was not really fucking with that shit. So she said, I'm not going to the run club, and I was like, well, I gotta, you know what I'm saying? I gotta just, you know, go, I guess. But at work is when I started noticing that, like, damn, not landscaping did kind of affect my hunger, because at first I thought I don't know. For the most part, I have a pretty good, what'd you call it? What is it called? When you say I have a pretty good hunger, have pretty good eating habits. Not eating habits, but yeah, I used to have a pretty good hunger, you know, but for some reason my hunger was not there. Like, I literally brought 2 donuts with me to work, and my Chick-fil-A sandwich that I had left over from the night before. and I couldn't finish the donuts. I had 2 twists, and I finished the first one, but I was getting full. Like I noticed now, like I said, like when I landscape, I'm able to like really finish my food semi. But now that I'm not landscaping, I notice I'm getting full way faster. So it's a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because now my abs are about to get back to being tight and about to be looking good. Like even right now, because like I said, now I'm basically like my hunger isn't as much. You know what I'm saying? So my cravings aren't there as much. So like even right now when I wake up, my abs are going to be, like my stomach is going to be really non-existent. You feel me? Plus the lack of liquor, so it's going to be no sugar. The lack of landscaping is basically making me eat less. So it's like, it's a win-win situation. Like, you know, it's just one of those things where, you know, it might just be that time. You feel me? So that's why I'm not really tripping. And to the audio listeners, what I just did right now was I just showed off my stomach basically, so that way the visual people could get an idea of like, okay, like this is what this nigga's looking like. So that way, you know, when we see next week, because by next Wednesday, it'll make a week, if I'm not mistaken, because today is day 4. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So by Wednesday, that'll be 8 days. So it'll be a week by Tuesday. Because a week is 2 days. It's 7 days, right? If I'm not mistaken. But yeah, pretty much. And at first, I thought mentally I was cool. I wasn't even tripping or anything like that. But to be honest, that shit, the drama was really on my brain. I ain't gonna lie. Especially because in my head, I'm like, if it was serious enough for her to not show up to run, I'm like, dang, am I not taking the situation seriously? So I pretty much was doing good. I was on mile 1. I did cool. Mile number 2, I was like, all right. But around mile number 3, I started getting in my head. I started letting my body dictate what I was capable of, and I didn't finish it as good as I wanted to. Granted, like I said, I'm only saying that because I feel like I'm so hard on myself, and I set myself to such a high standard. In reality, I did a good job, but because my personal grading scale for my ability or my belief in myself is so high, I'm like, nah, because you could have did better. You know what I'm saying? So, that's mile number 1. I'm doing I'm flying. I ain't gonna lie. I'm doing my thing. Mile number 1, 8:06. Mile number 2 went down to like 9:15, 9:10. Mile number 3, I was at 10:07, and I'm not gonna lie, it's because I started walking. But it literally was, and it's weird because that's why I'm so grateful, because now my knees are getting back to normal, to where I could do shit like this and like be more active and everything. But I'm not trying to rush it. But that's how I know I was like, okay, this is like a real life stomach ache, and like I really feel like I'm finna throw up and stuff, because literally my legs weren't the factor. It was just my stomach. And I'm like, every time I ran, and I was drinking, and I'm not gonna lie, normally I don't drink that much water during my runs, but because, like I said, I knew at work I didn't eat that good. Like normally I eat my lunch, I didn't finish none of my meals. Like none of the stuff that I brought to work to eat, I didn't finish it. So I knew I wasn't, nutritionally, I wasn't at my peak. But like I said, it's because I'm adjusting from not landscaping anymore. So like my body is probably like, you know, going through withdrawals in reality, you know, but I'm probably not even really processing it like that. So I just finish it and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, at the end of the day, I'm just happy to finish it. And I walked the last mile. In hindsight, I should have kept going even at a slow pace, but the drama that came up affected me more than I anticipated. So after the run, due to not landscaping, I left immediately, and I headed home to what I thought was to record. But I ain't gonna lie, like I said, the situation is so prevalent that I pretty much basically me and the person that's in it, we was just like, you know what, she just wanted to talk about it pretty much. And I was like, nah, you come through and talk about it. And I decided that like that was more important than to record the podcast. In hindsight, definitely should record the podcast, because at the end of the day, I have an obligation to myself to drop these every week, and it's just one of these where it's just like, you know, life be lifing, but you gotta swing right back. You feel me? So that's how my day went, and that's how my week went. So now that we're done with the weekly recap, we're about to get straight into the Odyssey. So if you guys do not know anything about the Odyssey, or you guys don't want to go see the Odyssey, skip right now. But by the time you guys are probably seeing it, the movie's probably been out for a little while. So respectfully. And I'm already letting you guys know now, let's not go see the movie Motor City. The movie, I don't think there's any movie coming out for episode 56, so let me see. Because I mean, if I'm not mistaken, it should be Motor City. Yeah, so this movie just dropped. When did it drop, actually? Because I might go see this on Tuesday. Yeah, July 24th. Oh, it just dropped yesterday. So yeah. So let me see what because on Tuesday I do a 12:39, Monday 12:39. Right? Why would I wait till Tuesday? Well, I can see it tomorrow. I'm off tomorrow. I might go see it tomorrow then with baby girl. So let's see what Sunday is looking like. Yeah, same times. So yeah, pretty much. Yeah, no issue. So I thought there was going to be a movie next week to talk about, but I'm wrong. We'll have a movie, guys. Like I said, now that I'm basically sober, you guys already see me moving at efficient levels. Like, it's even funnier because in reality, this was something like, let me just get deep real quick, right? Just to even talk about sobriety and just like substance use. I've never been someone that like, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, when it comes to landscaping, I never was somebody that said like I needed it. I've always acknowledged that it probably wasn't the best thing for me, and it probably like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it affected me more negatively than I could say positively, because like I said, it would affect my car smelling, you know what I'm saying? Like, my mom would always warn me that, hey, if you ever get pulled over, that's the first thing you didn't want to say. Overall, like I said, me smelling, because I can't go to certain places, you know what I'm saying? It would make me not want to be around my siblings, because I wouldn't want to do that, act around them and stuff. So, in reality, I think it's just, and then also, when I would do it after my runs, like on Thursdays, right? I would do some run, landscape, and then try to come and record the podcast. I'd be so, like, because of the landscape, I'd be just so, like, unmotivated, you know what I'm saying? That, like, it ends up causing me to, like, not complete the task at hand or do the things that I said I was going to do. So, all of a sudden, it wasn't having no issue before, but my camera is now glitching out. I'm not going to really make a big deal about it. I'm just going to deactivate it, I guess. And then we're just going to wait a little bit. But I'm going to continue talking. So pretty much I was just like, okay, yeah, you know, maybe it is time for your boy to like just put down that shit a little bit. Okay, so it is tripping. Put that shit down a little bit and then take a break from it and then just see. But I'm not upset about that, honestly. I think it's the best thing to do. And you know, your boy about to be turning 27. Like, sometimes some things just gotta go, and some things you gotta just change. You feel me? Like, no cap. So I hope you guys, you know, believe in your boy and like basically, you know, support me along this path of like improvement and like self-discovery. You know. Oh yeah, exactly. I already said how like I feel like even just doing it now on the podcast would like fuck me up. But now we're going to be talking about the movie The Odyssey. So now let's get a little bit of general information about The Odyssey, because you know it's only right. So the movie is called The Odyssey 2026. The genre is epic fantasy, action, and adventure. It is directed by Christopher Nolan. It is written by Christopher Nolan and is adapted from Homer's The Odyssey. The studio that's dropping it is Cinecopy Inc. and the distributor is Universal Pictures. The actual release date is July 17, 2026, and the runtime is about 2 hours and 52 minutes. Translated that to 172 minutes total. So, pretty much, I'm going to tell you guys the good, the bad, the ugly, and, you know, whether or not I recommend it. So, I guess, I mean, right off the rip, I can say I recommend it. I recommend it to those that have the ability to pay attention that long, because I'm not going to lie, unless you're interested and truly, like, so let's just start from the beginning. It's a Greek mythology book, story. So I've heard of the Odyssey, but I guess I never really heard the Odyssey the proper way, because I just kind of like just knew of it, but I never like I just would just know little snippets of like, oh, the Trojan horse, the Cyclops. I never knew those were all intertwined. And of course, I heard about mermaids and everything like that. I never knew this was all part of Homer's The Odyssey story. So, which is crazy, because Tiani was like, you never read it? And in my head, I'm like, was that like something that like was assigned to you guys? I never got that assignment in high school, and I don't think in middle school, you know, they're not asking you to read that much. But in high school, Mrs. Monaco never said, "Oh, Caduce, you guys need to read the Odyssey." We read a couple books. You know what I'm saying? The Catcher in the Rye. I think that's what we read. So that's neither here or there. But pretty much, she said that like it's based off the book. So in my head, I'm like, okay, well, I need to tap in with the book. So I basically added the book on Audible. So right now I'm gonna be listening to the book and basically trying to figure it out and like see what it is I can learn about it. What the heck? This is why I hate drama, bro. I was gonna say I hate people. I don't hate people, but like I said, I can't get mad at nobody but myself. I put myself in this situation, bro. But pretty much, the Odyssey starts off, and like I said, the cast is stacked. I guess I'll tell you guys who's all there. Normally, I don't do all of this. I'm lying. I do be doing all this, depending on the movie. It really just depends on the movie. IMDb, the Odyssey. Podcasting is the only thing that I know that would, like, even when I don't have no mucus, will cause me to have mucus. Like, I just been noticing that. Like, for some reason, even when I be feeling like, oh, I don't have no cold, I don't have nothing going on. Man, as soon as I start podcasting, niggas start coughing and shit. So, what you call it? In order, Travis Scott is Bard, which is so dope. Matt Damon, aka Jason Bourne, he's Odysseus. Robert Pattinson, Antinous. Corey Hawkins, aka Dr. Dre, Polybus. Jareth, J. Maris, Leides, Nico Nicaretta, Poseidon, Tom Holland, Temecula. I'm sorry, I'm probably not gonna know the names. Elliot Page, which was weird because I was like, Elliot Page is a woman, right? Or is that a guy? She's an actor, producer, and writer. It's a he. Ooh. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, wow. I am so sorry. Yeah, so I'm guessing he just looks like his mom. You know what I'm saying? You know, there's certain guys that just look a little more, you know, feminine in that regard. And I apologize because it was a voice. Like I thought it was a girl. I thought it was a girl pretending to be a guy character. You know what I'm saying? Like on some Mulan type shit. Then Shallow Fernandez, Rafi Gavon, Anne Hathaway. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, Zendaya's on here. Like, they had this cast was stacked. This cast was definitely stacked. So overall, that should just let you know the type of, I feel like the energy that they're bringing to this movie is like, nigga, we bringing the niggas. So pretty much Travis Scott starts off the movie, and that's what I'm saying. For me, I feel like if you've seen any of Christopher Nolan's movies, you kind of see he kind of has a similar formula, you know what I'm saying? In like his storytelling, like he's going to give you the story or the main. He's going to tell you what you guys are talking about, but he's not going to tell you everything all at one time. Like he's going to basically sprinkle. Like you have to watch the whole movie to get the whole story, pretty much. Oh my God, like how did this even get entangled in this? That's the only thing I hate about wires. They just be trying to. It's like they just be trying to just mix up with each other. I remember seeing that on the Gumball episode, The Amazing World of Gumball, when Gumball organized all of his wires. They walked away, and then the wires came alive like the Toy Story thing, and they just started like just switching up and like mixing themselves up. And I'm like, I think they do that. You know what I'm saying? But nah, Travis Scott basically is like telling the story of Odysseus, and I guess the story of Odysseus is basically as follows: there was a war. I don't know how long the war was, but it must have been like, it had to be a couple years, because pretty much Odysseus, when he was, 20 years ago, pretty much when Tom Holland's character was a baby, his dad had set out on a trip to Troy, and I guess to take over Troy, and pretty much, and then to summarize the whole theme, it's a story about how Odysseus, basically had a good trip on the way back, but the way back home it was easier going than it was coming, because when he went there, I guess he didn't have as much trouble, but I think because of what he did, where he went, it caused a lot of problems for him coming back. Like basically, and that's how I interpret it off of what I seen in the movie. That I'm assuming that everything could have went well had he not did what he did where he went. You know what I'm saying? And like that basically cursed him and his peoples, and he basically, I ain't gonna lie, this nigga was the only nigga basically destined to survive. But I just think it just sucked, because in my head I'm like, I feel like as a leader, Odysseus didn't do enough to get all of his men back home. Like I feel like he was, and I think that's part of what it was for me that like made me lose a little bit of you know what I'm saying, belief in like how the movie was like handled. Because like I said, I've never been the type of nigga just see a
a character make certain choices, and like if the choice don't make sense, I'm just like, okay, whatever. No, if the character make a choice that I feel like is kind of fucked up, I feel like it's kind of fucked up. Like I said, because I'm not going to go too deep into the movie, but pretty much Travis Scott starts it off. We see Tom Holland's character, and we pretty much see the setting. So pretty much the mom is pretty much having to hold down the house because the dad hasn't been around, and due to this, niggas that want to basically take over or basically replace the dad have been like sleeping over, basically spending the night, and they haven't been respectful. And there's this thing called Zeus's law, where it's basically you treat people how you want to be treated, which I thought was so interesting. Because I'm like, Zeus of all people tell niggas to treat people how they want to be treated. Like that idea seems so like duh, but I feel like the Greeks were so rude and so fucked up that I'm like, I don't think none of y'all follow Zeus's law. If that's the case, you know what I'm saying? Like, because even then, the whole issue was basically Odysseus' crew started getting a rap. Like I said, during the movie, you're not really able to put, like I said, maybe you have prior knowledge, but for me, I'm not really able to put two and two together that there's been like a rumor going around basically the world saying that like there's some sea people that come through, they pillage, they rape, and they fuck your shit up. So the whole time I'm thinking those are the ops. No, it was actually Odysseus and his crew, because they would go to different places, stop at different islands, and like, you know, they need resources, and they, I guess because they just felt like they were stronger. If the people will cooperate, they will fuck with them. If they wouldn't cooperate, they will destroy them and shit. So like, there's even one scene in the movie where like Odysseus is talking to one of the people that they kind of like took over, and he tells him, he's like, why did you guys like resist? Like, why don't you guys just accept us? And I'm like, damn, like, if niggas resist, this is what y'all do. I don't blame them. You feel me? Type shit. So overall, the whole movie is basically, is like I said, it's one smooth timeline, but we're getting different parts of the story at different times. You know what I'm saying? But I guess you can say the main timeline is all the parts where Tom Holland is in and shit, because at a point we're seeing, like I said, for the most part, the war is all flashbacks. That's what I assume. Like, what they did, the horse, all that stuff, that's all flashbacks, because everybody that talks about it, each person talks about a different part, and then we get the whole nine. But as far as Odysseus coming home, that is the current timeline. He's currently on this island with this lady, and like, she's been feeding him plants, and he's been forgetting, and he doesn't want to go home. According to the plants make you not want to go home. And mind you guys, I'm only able to talk this confidently, or this, you know what I'm saying, seriously about it, because to the point, because like I said, once Tiani told me that, that there's a book about it, I don't know why I didn't think to even like look into it, but when she told me there's a book about it, I was like, oh shit, what the fuck, well duh, let me go read the book. You know, I got Audible, so I just added that shit on Audible, and the whole intro, this lady, it's like a 3-hour intro, this lady basically explaining like how the Odyssey came to be, and how there's a chance that it was multiple writers. There's a chance that Homer is not even a guy. We don't even know if Homer's a man or woman. Like, basically, like, the fact that something this amazing was able to come out at a time like that, it just brings more questions of, like, how advanced were they? You know what I'm saying? Like, how were they able to come up with something like this? So I thought that was just really a dope concept to just, you know, speak on and stuff. But overall, like I said, as far as the movie goes, like I said, personally, I give it a 3.5 out of 5, respectfully. I did enjoy it, but it was nothing. Like I said, I like Tenet more, you know what I'm saying, if I keep it a bean, and Memento more, you know what I'm saying. Like I said, I'm seeing, no offense, he got a niche. Christopher Nolan got a pocket, and he has a way that he likes to tell stories that I feel like, if you're not used to it, it could be a little overwhelming. And that's why for me, I'm like, I was able to fuck with it, because I'm like, I'm kind of used to it, but I'm like, man, it's kind of a lot. It's kind of jumping here, it's kind of jumping there, and then like I said, we don't really ever get like a definitive like explanation of like what's really going on. We're just kind of just there for the ride. But I will say, because I'm like, that's all the bad. As far as the good, I will say the movie does keep you engaged. I will say, even though the cast is stacked, it's not too distracting. It doesn't take away too much from what's going on. And I will say, like, for the most part, each person that acted the character, they did embody it, and they did kill the character. Like, even Travis Scott, I feel like even for just a nigga that just was just basically just a narrator at a point of Odysseus' story, I feel like he fit really well. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, it's random, but it works. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of want to see Travis Scott in other movies. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to lie. Like, I fuck with Travis Scott, so sorry, not sorry. But pretty much, that's my review of the Odyssey.
I definitely recommend it. I feel like you guys should go see it. It was enjoyable, but like I said, only go there if you have the attention span to watch a 2-hour movie, because bro, man, like I said, it's like the Avatar. Like I said, I'm not gonna sit here and cap and be like, oh yeah, I was paying attention the whole time. No, those parts of this movie where I dead ass was on my phone, no cap, and I was like, okay, I don't think I even got to pay that much attention right here. You know what I'm saying? So that's probably some scenes where I probably didn't really get the full emphasis of it. But from what I did see, I did enjoy it, and like I said, it was just like I said, it just lost points for me because it was kind of too long. You know, I feel like it could have been kind of condensed, maybe 2 hours at most, but 2 hours and another 52 minutes where I feel like, because like I said, a part of it was just retelling the same story, but they will stop somebody. Retelling the story, then they'll stop it. Then we finally got the full war scene. Then we finally see Athena. We finally see Zendaya. Like, the plot holes all come together at the end, and it has a nice ending too. I will say that the ending is really cute. Like, I really like the way it all played off. And Robert Pattinson being the bad guy, that nigga's good. That nigga knows how to really like embody a character. You feel me? So I was just really happy to really watch that movie. You know. But yeah, so let's get into some Instagram topics. You feel me? Because pretty much now we done finished the weekly recap. We done finished the movie review. Now it's time to get into Instagram topics. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. That's so funny. Like, shout out to Danae. Danae's funny. She liked my story on both her pages. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, you feel me? Let's get to it. So in sports news, a Toronto Tempo coach apologizes after calling Angel Reese a protected species during the game. So pretty much this lady named Sandy Brodello, basically from the Shade Room, Toronto Tempo head coach Sandy, mind you, this is a head coach, so you're supposed to be professional. I just want to set the stage. Toronto Tempo head coach Sandy Brodello is apologizing after a comment she made about Atlanta Dream star Angel Reese during Friday night's game went viral. During the game, microphones caught Brodello telling referees Angel she's a protected species following the Dream's 111-92 point win. Angel reacted to a viral post about the remark, writing, "Are we surprised? Clown." Brodello later apologized and saying her frustration was directing at the officiating, not Reese. She acknowledged that her words carried a greater impact, particularly for black women in the league, and apologized to Reese, her teammates, and the Dream organization. Angel has now responded to her apology, and that's what I'm talking about, Angel Reese. I don't know much about Angel Reese. I just be seeing headlines, and for me, I feel like she's a pretty girl that knows how to play basketball. I have no hate towards her, you know what I'm saying? Protect black women. But the fact that this lady, this coach, and that's what I'm saying, these skin folk, these you know what I'm saying, these palm people, these white tea people, they be, I'm telling you, that's why it's scary, bro. It's so scary to be black sometimes, bro, because even when you work hard, you get all the accolades, you show up for yourself, and you earned your position, they still like to just throw hate. They still like to throw shade on you. Like, what do you mean that she's a protected species? If anybody's a protected species, it should be that white girl that be playing basketball that everybody likes. What's the name? What's that white basketball player girl? The white girl basketball player that everybody knows. What you call it? Man, Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is a protected species. I feel like she be the one that be doing a lot of bad shit, and that nobody ever like. Even the nigga. Let me see exactly. Caitlin Clark. And I ain't gonna sit here and say that I know too much about it. I do be hearing about yeah, look man, just speaking of which, she's over here in Outkick. Kaylee Clark calls out media's false characterization of her amid weeks of controversy. This is not a week of controversy. This is not a day of controversy. This lady has been in weeks of controversy. You know what I'm saying? Because not like that. She just be, like I said, she be siding with the racist people, with the MAGA. She's the MAGA representation. That's why for me it's like, it's so coincidental that the person that's what I'm saying, like I said, the one that's with MAGA is actually protected, but the one that's not protected, they want to talk shit about and like say that it's protected. So shout out to Angel Reese. Screw that Toronto head coach, because like I said, for you to even be comfortable saying that on a microphone means you mean it. You know, when people say what you say out of anger is what you really mean, that's really what it is. Like, clearly, that's what I'm saying. When someone gets caught doing something, you know the saying, it's never their first time getting it. It's never their first time doing it. It's just their first time getting caught. You feel me? So, she clearly felt comfortable enough to say some stupid, rude, and offensive shit like that, especially towards black women. But it's clearly not her first time, and I'm glad that her ass got exposed, and I appreciate the apology, but it's a little bit too late. Like, you should have knew what you said and how it was going to impact. And if you didn't, that just shows your lack of knowledge and awareness in the sport that you're playing. Because, you know what I'm saying, you be around black women. And if you're not aware of how what you're saying could affect them, then you're stupid. So then in, what you call it? Oh, man, this freaking camera, bro. Oh my gosh, y'all. I don't know what's going on today. And it's so weird because it was working so good last night. Like I said, I'm not going to let this affect the podcast. But pretty much in the Manosphere news, Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate have been arrested in Miami. The charges include 7 counts of rape, 3 counts of arranging or facilitating trafficking for sexual exploitation, 3 counts of assault, 19 additional charges related to indecent images of children and extreme pornography. You know, it sucks because I don't want to say I don't take certain things seriously, but in my head, I feel like this is like the 5th time these niggas have been arrested for this shit. And it's just like, when they're arresting them, are they like charging these niggas, or are they trying to charge them? Because I remember they got arrested in Romania, right? And I didn't think, that's what I'm saying, they got arrested, but that's what I'm saying, right? Maybe there must be something to it, because they're at first, if I'm not mistaken, because like I said, I don't really watch these niggas that often, and I was at first. I'm not gonna sit here and say like, before I felt like Andrew Tate was a coon. I kind of was fucking with him because I thought, oh, this nigga had a dad that was a chess master. He's clearly trying to teach niggas how to be bosses. Till I seen that, you know, like I said, it's just more so like, I'm just trying to teach niggas how to get more pussy. Which is, you know what I'm saying, like I said, everybody has their niche. Everybody has whatever they into and everything like that. So if that's what you into and that's what you want to become as a man, like if that's what you want to make money for, is to just fuck better bitches and shit, cool. But I feel like becoming a high value man is being that of somebody that doesn't make women, you feel me? Like, I'm not gonna need no women to like be the reason that I'm like, okay, yeah, like that makes me a high value man. Like, me being a high value man, being a high value caduce is based off of just myself, you feel me? Like, that's just how I look at it. Yeah, I don't need no heat. So yeah, so basically, you know, and I say that to say that, like, yeah, I kind of was interested in Andrew Tate, but once I started seeing that he was like a cringy head ass nigga, I was like, oh yeah, this is not me. I'm not a red pill type of nigga. But you know what I'm saying? I don't know. You feel me? Because literally he said they've been arrested by U.S. Marshals in Miami following a UK extradition request for over more than 50 charges. So I'll keep you guys posted. We'll see by next week if there's anything that happens with this. You feel me? But honestly speaking, I think the best thing I should do right now, after I talk about a topic, unsave it so that way I could make space for other things. I already wrote all these in my notes. So a moment of silence is definitely in order. We recently lost a child actor. Her name is Kaylee Hottle. You guys might know her well. You might know her well known. She's well known for her role. So let me just read it how it says. Kaylee Hottle has sadly passed away at the age of 18 after a fatal car crash. She was known for playing Gia in Godzilla x Kong films, and may she rest in peace. Let's have a moment of silence for Kaylee Hottle. May she continue to rest in peace. It was allegedly a car crash, you know, and she was only 18, bro. Only 18, like, imagine. And like for the audio, for the people that's watching, I'm gonna show you guys her picture. This is her. Like I said, she was one that pretty much was talking to Kong when in the Kong films when she basically, because I'm not saying going into detail about all the Kong films, but she was basically a relevant character in the Kong films, and may she rest in perfect peace, you know, because that's sad. So in dating news, Taraji P. Henson is basically talking to Keke Palmer's podcast, and I guess naturally, and that's what I'm saying. I'm never getting upset. I can never get upset at this because I feel like ultimately niggas know the truth, but I think it's just a common theme of just like asking women, like especially single women, like pretty much like as far as dating goes, what have you learned in all your years of dating? And I feel like the common denominator is a lot of women be choosing the wrong niggas, and it's kind of the same sentiment here because I guess Keke Palmer was basically asking Taraji P Henson like what has she learned like about red flags or whatever. So let's listen in.
Maybe passed up in your 20s that now the flag that you may be passed up in your 20s that now you're like, oh, this is a go.
A green flag that I passed up in my 20s.
Yeah, like sometimes we're like, oh, I don't want the guy that blah blah, but like now when we get older, we're like,
the
oh,
nerd.
Yeah,
the good boys. I was into them. I'm just quiet. I'm from DC, so.
Yeah, I think she said that should give you a hint. I think I used to find myself into aloof people when it's like you think that makes them interesting, but it's like no, they just don't have anything going on. But you think it's unique.
No, I like the bad boys.
Wow.
I was into them.
I feel like the bad boys always was liking me, and I'm like, I don't want to go to the trap house again. I did a few times, and it's like it's boring in there.
Yeah, well, the
Y'all
trap
not
house
doing
is
the hide
you
now.
can find me. I love that song. Well, I was young and dumb. I grew up,
Yeah. I mean, our tastes changed.
I love that. I love when someone is able to take accountability. You know what I'm saying? Like, just keep it real. Like, man, that was the wrong choice, but that's what I was into. And Taraji P Henson and Keke Palmer, y'all both beautiful. Y'all need a nerd? I'm right here. You know what I'm saying? I'll show you how green that fly can be. Okay. But nah, I just feel like it's gonna be a common theme, bro. Where like a lot of women are gonna be like, yeah, I wasn't really into them niggas, but like I'm into them now. And it's like, well, duh, because like I said, the bad boys, they don't think for the future. And most women, y'all mature faster for y'all age. So when y'all seeing that the niggas that you are attracted to aren't really doing anything attractive, like they're still doing childish shit, they're not really focused on their future, focused on anything tangible, anything that could really like sustain anything. I can only imagine how unattractive that would be. You feel me? I mean, like I said, I'm not gay, so none of these niggas is attracted to me anyway. But apparently, ESPN has been on a firing streak. Cam Newton has been fired by the ESPN. The network continues its latest round of layoffs. Allegedly, Cam Newton has been fired. Ryan Clark has been fired. Carl Ravitch has been fired. Tom Pelissero has been fired. Stephanie Bell has been fired. And David Lloyd has been fired. I don't know why they're being fired. I just hope that they have other work because in my head, I'm like, I don't know. I don't really watch ESPN, but I'm like, damn, being fired from a network, like unlike Shannon Sharp, like I hope you guys have your own platforms that you guys can fall back on. And in education news, according to Forbes, I might have to follow Forbes. I didn't think I was going to, but I might have to. They might have some interesting topics. The borrowers, aka me as a college student. Sorry guys for. Oh my god, I can't believe I just digged in my nose in my camera. Oh my gosh, that's so embarrassing. But hey, y'all know me, bro. I'm 100 on here, so there's nothing to hide, fool. Don't clip that shit. Don't clip that shit. I'm dead homies. Don't clip that shit. Don't clip that shit. Fuck! My first embarrassing moment on my podcast, bro. But it is what it is. But no, the borrowers have secured a win. We scored a major victory on Friday after a federal appeals court rejected a challenge to a landmark settlement agreement and required the Education Department and Secretary of Education, Linda McHawken, to continue discharging the federal student loans for more than 500,000 Americans. The ruling represents the department's latest loss in the long-running saga over the Sweet versus McComb settlement. Tap the link in our bio to learn more. So essentially, they must wipe out student loans for 500,000 borrowers. I'm just hoping I'm under that 500,000 people because I got $20,000 that I'm not trying to pay back respectfully. But I mean, if they do ask for my money back, I'll pay it. Like, I've already been planning to do that shit and everything. So yeah, whatever. But in the shoe news, CooKicks owner or the co-owner Bereket Abraham is among 13 people federally indicted in an alleged scheme to steal more than $2 million worth of Nike sneakers from the company's Memphis distribution center. Federal prosecutors because I can read. Let me take my time. Federal prosecutors allege the conspiracy operated from 2021, to 2024, with several former Nike employees using their access to divert high-demand shipments that were allegedly resold through sneaker resale channels. Abraham is accused of helping facilitate the operation by obtaining and using diverted UPS shipping labels. The defendants face charges including conspiracy and interstate transport of stolen property, which can carry potential penalties of up to 15 years in federal prison if convicted. So now you guys see, y'all know I be on here talking about the gambling shit. You guys already know, I was telling you guys about how niggas want to be gambling, betting on sports betting, but now we coming out, the feds is coming out saying that players are throwing the games and basically rigging the games, rigging the bets to pretty much pay their debts off. Now, when niggas be trying to buy shoes, they used to always say, damn, how these shoes always get so sold out? How these shoes always get sold out? And then niggas always have to end up buying the shoe in 2 times markup, 120% times retail. You know what I'm saying? The shoe be 120, you go on GOAT, that shit like 240. The shoe be like 120, you go on the website, this should be like 340. And niggas is buying it. StockX, all that shit. I was never one of those guys that was into that. Me personally, like I said, if it's a designer shoe, it's a designer shoe. It is what it is. But for me, I'm like, if the shoe's only $100, I'm not paying $300 for it. Because what? You scalped it? Nigga, fuck you. Respectfully. So hearing shit like this, like CooKicks, a well-known, well-vetted, in my opinion, well-respected shoe company in LA. Well, I don't know if it's in LA, but just a shoe company, like, you're telling me that these niggas was basically fraudulently acquiring these shoes and then taxing niggas? So mind you, that's what I'm saying. This shit only happens to greedy motherfuckers. Like, you guys, haven't y'all noticed that? That's the common theme. Shit like this only happens to niggas that be greedy. The niggas that know how to just do the shit and like keep it low key, they do it for a long time. The greedy niggas is usually the ones that fuck up. You're telling me from 2021 to 2024, you niggas was out here basically getting the shipments directed to the CooKicks and then reselling it for hire? Bro, it's not that deep, bro. It's never that deep, my nigga. Like, I get it though. Like, I get it though, because like I said, as a nigga that probably would want to make money fast and probably that doesn't want to go to school, that doesn't want to do this, I could see it. You know what I'm saying? Because there is a big market for the shoes. I don't think the market is as good now. I think it's one of those things where if you were already in it, you're going to be good. But if you're trying to get into it, it's going to be really difficult to get into it. But me personally, I'm just like, I don't feel bad for this guy. Because in my head, I'm like, nigga, I wish niggas would stop trying to tax for shoes. Like, I can't wait for the resellers. No offense. Because I don't want niggas to not make money. But I can't wait for the resellers to get out the way. I can't wait for us as the consumers to be able to get it straight from the producer. Like, this whole having to go to CooKicks to get a nice special shoe, a limited edition shoe, this whole thing of waiting up till 12 a.m. and all these bots buy all the shoes, like, that shit is fucked up. So hopefully this shit could get that shit to finally fucking stop. But I think the scariest part about this is how, you know, when you hear shit like this, you might be thinking, how do these niggas be having access to these businesses? How do these niggas be having access to these companies? It be inside jobs. You telling me niggas that work for Nike was like helping this nigga? Like, that's why for me, I be like, bro, if I worked at Nike, I would think more of like the opportunity to even work at Nike than to try to make money on the side off of selling shoes. But like I said, people be so, the mind is so fickle, bro. Niggas be so thirsty for money, they'll just do anything. And it's scary, right? Because this is not the only nigga that got caught up for some shit like this. The nigga, one of the Nike workers, this lady that like is really tapped in Nike, her son used to do the same thing, and she ended up, I don't know how, some way, somehow, they ended up basically like settling to where she wouldn't get into a whole bunch of trouble. But it was basically proving that, like, yeah, even she was like low-key giving her son unauthorized access to a whole bunch of Nike shoes that he shouldn't have been getting. And he would be posting pictures with a whole bunch of shoe boxes, and it'd be like, you know what I'm saying? And you see on the internet, that's why I tell you guys all the time. Don't trust the internet. Don't believe everything you see. Believe everything you read. Like, do your own research and really like be skeptical. Because as somebody that makes money, and somebody that works hard for my motherfucking money, that had to save up to invest to do all this shit, I know it's difficult to do it legitimately. So when I see people on scales like that, I just be like, man, I'm not trying to hate, but I question it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you, as an intellectual, you would think, because you're like, dang, like, Cause like for me, like I said, the reason I guess I could be so skeptical, or I could admit that I'm like I always be pocket watching, I guess you could say. I can't even put no quotation marks because I really do be pocket watching. The reason I be pocket watching is because for me, I always look at it like if it's like I said, if it's not nothing like illegal, I'd be like shit. If they could do it, I could do it. So I always just think to myself like, how would I get to that point? Like, what would I have to do? So I was just be considering. I'm like, then I do my research. I'm like, dang, like this is you need a lot of capital to just get into that. So I can only imagine that you having hundreds of Air Force Ones, you have 100 Travis Scotts, like how much money you investing into that? And it be young niggas. Like it's different with the nigga that works with DJ Khaled, the nigga that does the shoes, because you know clearly he, you know what I'm saying, somebody fronted that nigga some money and he has foot in the game, you know what I'm saying? But with niggas that just be like, you don't know nothing about, and then you find out, oh, my mom works for Nike, my this, how did you get this, you know what I'm saying? Like, how did you legally get access to this shit? You feel me? So that shit crazy. And it'd be sad to me because I'm like, you would think niggas doing illegal shit would try to be a little low key. You not even getting these shoes legitimately, and you have the audacity to be posting like pictures like this. Like, I don't know. At least for me, because like I said, every time I see these things, I just only assume that these niggas must have thought the police aren't on me. Niggas is not worried about me. I could just do as I please. Like, I'm not noticeable. But it's like, bro, I ain't gonna lie. Like, one common thing about the police, they like to wait. They like to, at least the feds, they like to, like, and that's why for me, I'm like, if I was doing something illegal, I would be thinking of that to myself. Like, I would really be considering, like, are we, like, we're not on their radar, right? Like, how can we make sure that we're not even on their radar? You know what I'm saying? Like, because I would just assume that them niggas is watching us. And naturally, CooKicks, because, you know, and which is crazy, right? Because after all that, imagine, you know, you'd expect your man to stand beside you or to not do anything. But naturally, the company has to, you know what I'm saying? I mean, with something like this, it's only right that they have to come out and make a statement, because I'm sure the customers are probably side-eyeing them. CooKicks has a statement where they're basically saying, Barakat Abraham was indicted in Memphis, Tennessee for purchasing items that were allegedly stolen from Nike. Mr. Abraham denies the charges. While Mr. Abraham owns stock in CooKicks, the indictment contains no allegations of wrongdoing by CooKicks or anyone else associated with CooKicks. So basically, CooKicks is like, look, they didn't say we had anything to do with it. They just said that nigga has something to do with it. So because of that, we're terminating our relationship with him, and CooKicks remains focused on serving our customers and community. CooKicks will continue to work diligently to prioritize the integrity of our products and honesty in our business operations. The CooKicks team. AKA just put the business in his cousin's name. That's what I'm saying. Like, man, and thank you. Someone said it myself. Bro wanted 1,000% profit. Like, come on. You already a millionaire, and you still that thirsty, man. But that's what I'm saying. Honestly speaking, you know, because sometimes people be like, even me, I'd be like, man, if God gave me that position, if I was in that position, I wouldn't do that shit. You never know till you're in that position, for real. Like, honestly speaking, because I'm just speaking from the sidelines. I'm speaking as a broke nigga that don't sell shoes. You never know. If I probably was selling shoes and somebody said, hey, I work at Nike, I could get you direct, you know what I'm saying, shoes, I might work it out, but I don't think I would steal it. Like, I would want it to be like, okay, well, I'll break you off something. Like, it come off legit, you know what I'm saying? So that way I could sell this and not get in trouble, you know what I'm saying? Because damn. But as far as landscaping news, Congress preparing a bill to deschedule marijuana, removing marijuana entirely from the federal list of controlled substances. If this happens, this would immediately expunge the federal record of anyone charged with non-violent marijuana possession. So, fingers crossed, y'all. Hopefully, Congress does this and goes through with it, and marijuana cannot be a federal list of controlled substances. That way, all the people that went through the shit they went through with the weed could get back, because that's been a real issue for most people when it came to weed and everything like that. It was like all the black people that got arrested for everything all in the past for just having a little bit of weed, and now all of a sudden weed is like legal-ish, and now all these white people are now having all these businesses and like taxing and making money. Like I said, it's a problem when we do it. It's okay when the white people do it. We know the truth. You feel me? So hopefully, fingers crossed, that happens. So, movie news, man, I'm disappointed to even read this one out. You know? In movie news, man, Mahershala Ali's Blade is reportedly fully canceled. R.I.P. Blade with Mashallah. We hardly knew you. I feel like a gigantic loser and failure that we didn't get off the ground with Mashallah. Damn. So basically, Blade, I don't know if you guys know Blade, but he's like a black vampire that basically is like super duper cool. You know, he's that nigga. Look it up. I'm not going to. If you don't know who Blade is, you just need to do your homework. But after years of delay, Kevin Feige recently admitted he was disappointed Blade never got off the ground. Now the designer behind Mashallah Ali's Blade logo has seemingly confirmed the project has been cancelled, writing R.I.P. Blade, shame they couldn't get this one off the ground. So I guess it's probably just, I don't know why, because I feel like us as an audience, like we definitely like, I would want a Blade movie, I would watch it, but maybe there wasn't enough interest from Hollywood. But it's so coincidental, right? Because in this day and age of all these remakes, you guys want to remake Blade, that I feel like that's like an easy box office win. Like that's what I'm saying. If you want to get some niggas in the movie theaters, give us some more characters that represent us, bro. Like that's why, in my opinion, I really respect the hell out of Tyler Perry. I just low-key want him to make more whimsical movies now. Like I feel like as somebody that, like I said, as a black person that be seeing all these movies and all these characters, I want more black people in these whimsical characters. Like I want to see more magic movies with black people be witches. I want to see more. Like I want to see more diversity with characters that are black. You know what I'm saying? Like not just always just grounded in reality. Like let's make a Harry Potter type movie where they're black, but not like that one thing with the magical world of Negroes where the nigga wanted to get with the white girl. I'm like, you see how my can just cringed up when I said that shit, because that whole premise pissed me the fuck off. That whole thing about we want to make white people be more comfortable about black people, and that's why that movie was fucking weak. And it didn't go nowhere. It didn't get no fucking awards. Like, ooh, let me calm down, y'all. Let me breathe and drink some water. So now we're going to Twitter. Don't worry, y'all. We're about to end this episode shortly. Nice episode today. I'm pretty proud of myself. You know what I'm saying? So this lady named Mandii, she has a podcast and they were talking about marriage. I'm gonna just let her say what she has to say, and then we're gonna talk about it after.
Absolutely. I think, okay, so this is gonna protect everything that you have. If you're a woman that is focused on making more, having your own career, bringing in your own money, absolutely. I think, okay, so this is gonna be my hot take. And no shade to either. We're only 3 minutes in. I know. I think marriage is for broke bitches. Ooh. And so I think a woman who wants to be married is leaning more into the patriarchy and wants to be essentially, possibly taken care of, have their man as the leader. All the ideals for me of what marriage looks like is that. So I just saw my friends recently this weekend. She's like, did you want to be married? And I literally said, yeah, when I was poor. As a woman who can now like provide for herself, also doesn't want motherhood, and also sees a lot of these celebrity women now having to continue working because they have to pay alimony. I mean, we have even podcasters now paying alimony. Shout out to Rachel Lindsay. Like, there's all these people that once you make a certain amount of money, if your man doesn't, you have to pay them out. And I don't want to be that. That's a take. I don't want to be that. But you also start on cameras.
Hey man, you know you off base when your co-host is like doesn't even say anything, but just gives you a bombastic side eye. As soon as she said, I feel like marriages for broke people,
I think a woman who wants to,
her homegirl, the girl next to her said, just looked like, what? And that's why you just gotta let people have the ideals and the mindsets that they have, because clearly, and that's why, you know, when people be like, oh, don't judge, don't assume, it be hard, because clearly this woman sounds hurt. I ain't gonna lie. That sounds like a hurt person, because you're telling me that you would only that women only want to be married because they're broke or poor. Like you don't feel like no woman actually would want to get like married, like to like do that stuff. And I guess, like I said, to her credit, she said she doesn't care about motherhood. So it's like, well, I mean, yeah, but I feel like to just put a blanket statement on that and say that it's for broke women is like, no, I don't really. I'm not gonna sit here and say I know, because I don't really know too many. You know what I'm saying? I guess my circle is my circle. But I'm like, I'm sure there's some women out there that got money that's like, I still want to be married. Like, that's why to me I'm like, it just sounds like you don't want to. It sounds like you don't want a relationship. Period. Like, I don't even think it's about marriage. It just sounds like you don't want a nigga. It sounds like you just don't want a man. You know what I mean? You don't want to depend on a man. Which, if that's the argument, I'm all for that. Like, I feel like she could have went about it in the sense of like, being married is not for broke women, but instead, don't be broke while married. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get into a marriage and expect that nigga to always just be able to take care of you. Like, that's what I feel like. Yeah, duh, that should be what you guys should be encouraging women. Like, I know, that's what I'm saying. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, like, we should be encouraging women to say that they need men. But I feel like we need each other, bro. Like, we need love, bro. We need love in this world, bro. And I don't, like, we just gotta start putting money as a theme, bro. And it sucks because, like I said, it's never the guys. Like I said, most niggas, in reality, we would treat women so good. We'll buy flowers. We'll take you guys out to eat every day. If that wasn't like a necessity. If that wasn't like a need, like, oh, you have to spend a certain amount of money. You gotta go. Like, if a woman was, I'm telling you, if a woman wants to really work with her nigga, like, in his, like, budget, and make sure that, like, okay, like, he's able to still pay his bills and still able to take her out at the same time, I'm telling you, they will have the best relationship. I think the issue be happening because a lot of women don't really take the time to understand their man's finances and really understand what the nigga's going through financially, work-wise. Like, granted, a nigga might, you know what I'm saying, he might make $100,000 a year, but you don't know, like, how much work he's having to put in, how much, like, investments he's having to do. So it's like, now you come into this nigga life and you want him to spend, like, basically, like, let's say, for example, man, I don't even know how much a nigga might spend on a woman per week, but let's just say, for example, he's spending $500 on his girl a week. That's 2 bands, that's $500 a week on his girl, just on his girl, because let's say, for example, he pays for the hair and nails. You know what I'm saying? $500 a week times 4. That's 2 bands a month times 12. Imagine $100K a year minus 24,000. That's now nigga only making 76,000, and that's not even to include the bills that he has to pay. So it's like, I feel like if women were to like make it to where it's like, okay, cool, like a nigga can still have his wealth, and like that, like I said, like you're not necessarily looking to be taken care of. You're looking to really like prosper with the nigga. I'm telling you, like, man, a lot of these niggas would be out here getting married, but these niggas, I'm telling you guys, we just want to be taken advantage of and then left for dry because we run out of money. And that's what I'm saying. We run out of money trying to take care of the girl, and then she just will get with another nigga that got money. That would suck. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine fucking your whole financial situation up for a woman just for her to be like, you're just so fucked over and you can't provide for me even though you've been trying to provide. And she's just like, I'm gonna just go get the next nigga that's good. Like, damn, like, that shit must suck, bro. That shit must suck. Like I said, that's why for me, I told you guys, I date within my budget and I date within my range. And I'm glad that I'm at a position where I'm able to do that respectfully and happily. And the person that I am doing that with understands that. Like, and it's so crazy because, like I said, in reality, I feel like, you know what I'm saying, not to compare and trash, but, you know what I'm saying, they making more than me. And they still not been, like, coming at me on some shit like, oh, you need to do this. I need you to buy all this. Like, no, they're working with a nigga. Y'all need to start working with y'all man. And I feel like then y'all will get married. The reason that the women be single and don't be getting married, y'all don't be trying to work with niggas. Y'all just be trying to work niggas and, like, just tell niggas what they should and shouldn't do. Okay, guys, I'm so sorry. This freaking camera is trying its hardest to do what it's doing to do. So, it's going to be a lot of dark moments in this video, in this episode, and I sincerely apologize, but I just want you guys to know I was here, the camera was just tripping. But yeah, I disagree with that take. I think Mandi's tripping. Like, I don't think marriage is for broke women. If we want to be married, it's probably because she loves the nigga. Like, what are we talking about? And in food news, according to No Jumper, a sample of lettuce from Taco Bell supplied Taylor Farms that had tested positive for Psilocybe was a false positive. So, I don't know if you guys know, I was telling you guys earlier how when I went to Cane's this week, or last week, they say they don't have no lettuce. I guess Taylor Farms has been accused of being positive for Psilocybe. I don't know what that is, but their lettuce was basically affected. Turns out, it might have been a false positive. So, all the lettuce that Taco Bell had to remove off their shelves and get rid of, it might have not even been affected. According to Taylor Farms, an update for you. Today, the FDA apologized to us, which is really dope because I feel like the FDA is not really a place that really apologizes to anybody. But yesterday, the FDA informed Taylor Fresh Foods that one of its iceberg lettuce products from central Mexico had a confirmed positive test for cyclospora. Yeah. Cyclospora. Today, we were informed that the FDA made a mistake, and this was a false positive. To be clear, at this moment, FDA has not identified a single positive product test result for Cyclospora. Acting on initial information provided by health officials in an abundance of caution, we completed a voluntary recall of iceberg lettuce from central Mexico. Recalled product was limited to iceberg lettuce grown and processed in central Mexico. All other Taylor Farm products, including all Taylor Farm brand products, are not involved in the recall. Our thoughts remain with everyone who has fallen ill in this outbreak. We are committed to working with the public health authorities as the ongoing outbreak investigation continues. So that's good. Shout out to Taylor Farms. It sucks that a false positive like could have got y'all in trouble and shit like that, but you know what I'm saying? I'm glad you guys worked with them, because at the end of the day, as a consumer, I would feel much happier knowing that the company that possibly had something that could have came out decided to take this shit off the shelves rather than risk ourselves and everything like that. So I just thought this was interesting. Like, I don't really talk much about porn on here, but this lady named Layla Mikowait broke down on Theo Vaughn's podcast how one company, MindGeek, now ILO, basically owns most of the big porn industry. And I don't know why, for some reason, like I said, I've watched porn before. I've never thought to myself that like one company would own all the porn. Like, I never thought that was something like a company would want to like be like side by. Like, I just thought that was like just some horny niggas that just owned that website, and it was just like letting people just put their own videos on there. Like, I never really thought that like I don't know how I never assumed that like porn was like a professional business. Like, I'm slow as hell for that. But allegedly, this company owns a lot of it. So let's listen to this clip. This is a Theo Vaughn podcast.
And it's not just Pornhub, right? Pornhub is owned by a parent company. All of this kind of I learned over the last 5 years, called MindGeek. Okay, now MindGeek has a monopoly on the global big porn industry, so we call it big porn because there's big porn, just like there's big tobacco, there's big pharma, there's big porn, and it's dominated by one company. That company was called MindGeek. They rebranded to ILO to try to escape their reputation as peddler of crime. But so with a $362 million loan from a hedge fund called Colba Capital and 125 secret investors who were outed as including JP Morgan Chase and Cornell University, they had basically rolled up the entire global porn industry under one company. So MindGeek. Yeah, so they owned, they were managing Playboy, Digital Playground, Wicked Pictures, Brazzers, Reality Kings, pay sites, subscription sites, and then the Tube sites. So Pornhub and its sister sites. So Pornhub, YouPorn, RedTube, TubeBait, ATube, XTube, I could go on and on.
Yeah. Like, could you imagine that, bro? One company owning all of these websites and they're all porn? Bro, Playboy, RedTube, Pornhub, all that? Y'all some freaky ass niggas. And when they showed him, it was like a regular ass nigga. Like, I'm just like, how do you even decide that you want to get to some shit like that? Like, wow. Like for me, because like I said, I ain't gonna lie. When I do that shit, I be trying to like absolve myself from it as far as possible. Like, when that post-clarity come in, I be like, ugh, I'm so disgusted in myself. So to own it though, and like, dang, like I can only imagine, like, and like she said, they trying to separate themselves from the business, and it's like, no, nigga, you a freaky ass nigga, and the business you into is some freaky ass shit. Stand on that. Stand on that. Wow, why is it? Wow, this shit is like tripping. And you know what's so crazy to me? Is it the outlet that it's in? Like, do I gotta put it in a different place? Let's switch it. Let's switch it. How about that? We're gonna see now, right? If I put it in a different spot, if it just works better. Because at this point, maybe it might just be that plug in particular, the USB port. And it looks like it's cool now. Alright, let's continue to listen.
Most popular two sites. And who owns MindGeek? So MindGeek was owned by secret majority shareholder. So nobody knew who the owner of MindGeek was when all of this began.
Were they in America?
No, we found out. So we found them. Through the course of this, there was an investigation called Hunt for the Porn King.
So they're not an American company. So you start on the Hunt for the Porn King.
Right. So we discovered who was the secret majority shareholder of the company, and his name was Bernd Bergmair, and he was in Austria, and he lived part-time in Hong Kong.
Imagine that, right? You own all this porn, and you're not even in America seeing how your shit is affecting people. You in Australia, you in Austria and Hong Kong. Like, these niggas, I'm telling you, when the money niggas, they don't be in America, bro. They always be overseas, bro. That shit's like a common theme, bro. That should be scary, bro.
Yeah, you can.
I just want people to know
there he
who
is. Yeah.
Bernsberg Mayor.
Yeah.
And if you see the picture, the nigga literally smoking a cigarette. Like, the nigga look cool as fuck.
He grew up as a son of farmers in Ansfelden, attended grammar school in Linz, he studied University of Linz, wherever that is. He worked at Goldman Sachs in New York.
Goldman Sachs.
Born site RedTube in 2013. He sold to the site.
Like, let's see. He grew up as the son of farmers, attended grammar school, and transferred. He graduated with a thesis and a topic related to corporate acquisition. evaluation of corporations and financing strategies in connection with. Wow. So that's weird. How did he become the owner of the porn website RedTube in 2013, and then he sold the site to Manwin? That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. It's not really showing how he got into it, or maybe I probably gotta go read it. But it seems like the nigga was like very educated, got his degree in business and company acquisition, which makes sense. Like buying companies, selling them. I'm sure. And apparently that's the goal when you get a business, is to sell it. I didn't know that. I thought the goal was to own the business. My bad. But apparently, you know what I'm saying? That's what he does. And because of that, you know, he ended up owning RedTube, owning RedTube, and then he sold it. It's crazy.
Now known as Alio, who's a former majority owner of Pornhub and MindGeek. Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to make sure we see.
He was the majority, and then Feroz and Chun and David DeSilla were the CEO and the COO, and they were the minority shareholders, and they kind of hidden themselves from the public as well for a really long time.
Okay, and are these guys all from Austria? Or are they from a specific place?
So Canadian. So the company is an international corporation.
Okay.
They are headquartered in Canada.
Okay.
So they have most of their employees in Canada, but they have offices now they have an office in Texas. They had one in LA, Cyprus, Romania.
MindGeek has offices everywhere?
Everywhere.
Wow.
Yeah. So they are a multinational corporation, huge corporation, hundreds of millions of dollars a year, multi-billion-dollar corporation with a monopoly on the global big porn industry.
And how much money was it bringing in a year?
Yeah, they're estimated about $500 million.
Damn.
Per year. The value of the company is multiple billions of dollars. And you know,
$500 million.
Pornhub was the flagship site, so this was the cash cow of the company. This is how. Not only are they making money on 4.6 billion ad impressions every day and all of the traffic they're getting, but they're advertising their pay sites on the free sites, right? So they kind of
which is true. That is true. That is true. Like on the free porn websites, they always advertise the paid website. So, damn, these niggas. And speaking of monopoly, that's what the movie theaters. That's what Paramount and everything is trying to do. So, man. And then, you guys know, I talked about it last week. You know how this guy got fired by Ford because they said that he stole a snack that he actually paid for? Apparently, 3 more Ford employees have been fired and then rehired for stealing snacks that they actually paid for. Ford has confirmed that they're investigating issues with the food machines. So you're telling me, when you guys fired that first nigga, you guys didn't think, let's check on our machines, let's make sure that our shit is cool? Like, niggas be so stupid. So yeah, man. So right there, guys, that is it. That is it for today's episode of the Stay Down Late Podcast, episode 55. Thank you guys for being patient with me. Thank you guys for working with me. I be feeling so terrible when I don't produce on time for you guys, but I know you guys, as you guys know my life. A nigga's still trying to figure out, nigga's still trying to make it work, and a nigga's still trying to get used to producing at a consistent rate. And it's like I said, that should be sounding easier than it is. Like really getting on here, really coming up with these topics, really like doing stuff in my life to make sure I have stuff to talk about. And then of course, at the end of the day, being aware of my voice and the fact that this is the internet and everything on the internet stays here forever. Make sure I don't say anything that's going to indict myself and get myself in trouble. You know, you got to work with your voice. So overall, like I said, this episode has been about just overall just improvement and like, you know, new beginnings. You know what I'm saying? That's really what I want to say. New beginnings, you know what I'm saying? And I'm proud of the choices that I made, and I'm proud of the decisions that I made to be better, and I will be better. And I hope you guys, you know, will fuck with your boy, you feel me? And like I said, with that being said, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Thank you to each and everyone that comes to this podcast. All the first time listeners, first time watchers, thank you. I appreciate you. I love you. And all the ones that are returning, you guys already know what it is. Scorpion, stand up. I love y'all. It's your boy Kaylee P. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. I'm out. Peace.